Okay, today we're going to make one of my favorite halibut dishes. And we're going to start with a nice fresh halibut fillet. I got this at Costco. It's fresh, wild Alaskan halibut, which I think is the best kind because it doesn't have all the preservatives. Now I know what size it is, and one thing that I think is important when you're working on your ideal shape is your portion control. So you cut, this meal is probably around 6 ounces. So if you have to get your calories, then you cut this portion. So these are going to be 6-ounce pieces of halibut. So I'm just going to double check them. And this one's 4 ounces. The other two will be 6. They're a little bit thicker. So, so 4-ounce piece is still a nice size piece of halibut. Now, I think one of the things that this, and we're going to bread it, which I don't normally do with my halibuts. I'm going to put a little bit of butter. For the recipe, it's for 2 servings. We're doing 3, but it just calls for 1 tablespoon. You'll see I really try to keep the butter amount down because it's a good fat, but it has some fat in it. We're going to cut up some macadamia nuts. So I've just got some macadamia nuts here. And we're going to chop those up in small pieces. They're going to go in the breading. And the breading that I use is called panko breading. And it's a really light, flaky breading. This one's Progresso. They have several brands. But like a 1/4 cup, which for 2 of these halibuts is only 110 calories, which a lot of breadings can add a lot of calories. So you're just adding 50 calories on here with the breading. So, but we'll add a little bit more because we're going to put some macadamia nuts in them. But I've also included that in the recipe on dailyburn.com, so you know how much that's going to add to it. So we're going to chop the macadamia nuts. We're going to add them to the panko breading. Then we're going to just dip the and add a little parsley for some flavoring. And then we're going to dip the halibut into that. Should have cut these up ahead of time. Save some time. And then we're going to, I think the secret to great halibut is cooking it at a high temperature. I cook it at 425. And I don't cook it very long, 6 to 8 minutes. Usually it's done by then. If you want the breading a little more brown than it is when the fish is done, then you can just put it on broil and brown the topping a little bit. But it's got lots of flavor. It's really a tasty fish. And I don't overcook the halibut. It's kind of undercooked just a little. So it's a little translucent in the middle, which I'll show you when we get to the part on the cooking. And that's, I think, what makes the difference in halibut, that it is translucent and it's not overcooked. I think all fish taste best when it's a little undercooked. Okay, so now we'll take our, for 2, it would just be a 1/4 cup. So I've added a little bit more than that because we're making 3. So I'm going to add that there, pull this out. It's now melted, as you can see. I'm going to spray the bottom of this because I don't want it to stick with a little bit of Pam. And then I'm going to add just a touch of parsley, maybe a few sprigs, a little flavor and color. Chop it really small. So I guess I should put that up there where you can actually see me chopping, huh? That's a good idea. So you can see, you want it, I like fresh parsley because it adds some good flavor to this, but you don't want super big stems, so you want to slice those up. Okay, so and we'll just add about this much. You're going to just add some color to it. A little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to take and salt and pepper each one of our fillets first. So you don't have a lot of seasoning to halibut. I think it's best if you maintain the flavor. So there isn't a lot of seasoning here, as you can see. Okay, so we're going to take this and just put a little bit of butter. I guess I should put this up here too, so you can see. And then go like this. There. See, you don't even use all that butter. So the recipe says that's a tablespoon for 2. It's not even quite that much. So I'm going to coat the top as much as possible, and then just add a little bit of the coating on the bottom. So it has a little flavor on the bottom. And you use up, you don't want to leave the macadamia nuts and the panko breading. You want to use them up. So I like to coat the top nice, add a little bit to the bottom. As you can see, just like that. So I'm going to take and put that. So I didn't even use all that. So not even as much calories as I thought it was by not taking all of that. Okay, so now we're going to bake that in a 425 for 6 minutes. And I'll come back and show you how that's done. Okay, I want to show you the halibut. Just came out of the oven, and I cooked it for 6 minutes, and then I just took and broiled the top to brown up the breading just a little. So you can see, I'm going to put it on the plate and just show you that it's still translucent in the middle, if you can see that. I'll bring that in closer. It's not white all the way through. That's the way I like my halibut, just a little bit undercooked. And it's very tasty that way. And so then we serve that with the Brussels sprouts today and have a nice meal.